Let's talk about the March 13th lunar eclipse that is coming up this week. Eclipses run in cycles just like retrograde planets, so a lot of the lessons can be the same. You want to look back to 2006, 2007, early 2008. What were you doing? Who were you with? What kind of choices were you making? Because we are coming back to that same area of life where we are releasing something now. For this specific eclipse, you want to actually look back to March 3rd, 2007. A lot of times you will see that the same pattern is playing out, and that is what life is. It is patterns unfolding, but each step along the way, we're growing, we're pivoting, we're changing. Eclipses are like a divine intervention where your soul is growing, it's evolving. On a collective level, with a South Node eclipse in Virgo, this is targeting the working class. And remember back in 2006, 2007, 2008, we had the subprime loans, we had the housing market crash, and let's hope we don't see that again. Virgo does rule the working class. It rules the service industry. So the service industry could be changing. Globally, things are shifting with eclipses, and on a personal level, things are shifting in your life as well. Sun and Saturn are together opposing this eclipse, and this tells me that there's blockages, restrictions. There could be a lot of frustrations. Saturn comes together with the Sun. It is combust. Any planet coming together with the Sun is combust, so it doesn't work properly. So this can make it to where we won't admit our own faults, our own mistakes. So it could be more painful letting go. Neptune is also opposing this eclipse, and a lot of us could be waking up to deception. And this can be globally and personally in your personal life. You could be finally taking off the rose-colored glasses for some of you, because Neptune does deceive. For a lot of you, you can finally wake up to what you were not seeing before. And this could also pose a question of, where are you lying to yourself? How much can you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? It could be very emotional, like we're trying so hard to keep it together, and no matter what we do, it's just not working. For others of you, you won't even have a choice in the matter, because that's how eclipses work sometimes. It's fated events coming in, intervening into your life, and you don't have a choice in the matter. And here we also have Mercury retrograde, we have Venus retrograde, and they're taking the same path. So we can have people coming back from the past. We can be really reflecting on everything, and it could add to the confusion. The planet ruling over this eclipse, Mercury, is actually retrograde until April 7th. So a lot of times we can feel like we're making the right choice and then find out we were led astray, going back and forth on our decisions, how we feel. It's wise not to make any important decisions, unless you have to, of course, 2 weeks before, 2 weeks after the eclipse, until you get all the information, because a lot of information could be coming to you within the next 2 months. Remember the lunar eclipse we had September 17th of 2024 at 26 degrees of Pisces? Well, Saturn is conjuncting with the North Node at 26 degrees of Pisces on April 14th. This will be an activation of that eclipse. New developments around April 14th, right after Venus goes direct, will be happening in the area of Pisces. If you have personal planets from 21 to 27 degrees in Virgo or in Pisces, this eclipse will affect you more. Huge life events are usually triggered by eclipses. Marriage, divorce, moving, having children, buying a home, starting a business, signing a business contract. All of these events are usually triggered with eclipses to personal planets. And if your rising sign is Virgo or Pisces between 21 and 27 degrees, huge life events. Now, it's not as potent, but Gemini and Sagittarius planets from 21 to 27 degrees are also going through a lot of huge changes. If you have the Sun from 21 to 27 in Virgo, Pisces, you could be going through a career change, a health change. Male members in your family could be going through changes as well. And even your image to a certain extent. Moon, this is a big one. It's usually pregnancy, home, family, a big move, mother or female members in the family. When it comes to Mars, it's your ambition, where you put effort into. It's also the actions you take. So you could be led to maybe give up some passions, start something else. With Mercury, it could be school, travel, work, as well as your siblings, your neighborhood. With Jupiter, it could be marriage, children, knowledge, your luck, your spirituality, your philosophies on life could be changing. If it's Venus, it's huge because your relationships are changing. So it could be falling in love, getting a divorce, having a breakup. You could meet somebody you are going to marry, or you could meet somebody who's going to be a part of your life for a really long time. And with a South Node eclipse, it could mean a spiritual connection, someone from the past. With Venus, also your values are changing. Your money could be changing, as well as your looks, your beauty, your aesthetic, what you are drawn to, what you want to wear. With Saturn, it's duty, it's responsibility, it's the elders in your family. But if you have Saturn in here now from 21 to 27 degrees of Virgo or Pisces especially, it could be releasing you from a burden or a responsibility. And sometimes it's really nice, right? We have more free time, but sometimes it's sad. Maybe we liked that responsibility. We identified with that responsibility, and all of a sudden it's taken away from us. And eclipses to your north and south node could shift your whole life around. The Sabian symbol for 24 degrees of Virgo, which is the degree of this eclipse, is Mary and her white lamb. It says our load must be lightened. And the passage of this degree really talks about only taking what is needed. Don't store more than you have to. It's as if right now you are 1 foot in and 1 foot out of your new life. You are headed somewhere new, and some people, places, things cannot come with you. So right now we are basically all lightening our load so that we can make room for new people, new experiences. On the day of the eclipse, the moon is in the Purva Falguni Nakshatra. But as the eclipse is happening, it is in the Uttara Falguni Nakshatra. They really are as one, and they symbolize love, friendship. One is the head of the bed, one is the foot of the bed. So this day is about making commitments to people. It's about art, beauty, and friendship. So we are all really thinking about this. Uttara Falguni really highlights relationships and commitments of all kinds. So what's up for review during this eclipse is your commitments, whether it's friendship, contracts, and you're really thinking about it, analyzing it, if the commitments you have are worth keeping. So that is also key. You are reanalyzing what commitments you want to keep in your life and which ones you want to let go of. A lot of this year talks about partnership, letting go, and it's even a year 9 in numerology, which is completion, it's endings. It is also a 9 of hearts year. We can see a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces, a lot of people moving on from past experiences, but this is also symbolizing that we are healing. And the highest manifestation of this card is wish fulfillment. If you're doing the work, if you're taking all the right steps, you could see some of your greatest wishes fulfilled. If you guys like these videos, like and subscribe for more. I will have all the signs timestamped down below. And if you want a more thorough explanation of what's going on in March, you could watch my March forecast. Aries, this lunar eclipse is landing right in your 6th house, and this is the house of work. It's the house of health. It's the house of whatever you do on a day-to-day basis. Those of you who own a business could be letting go of employees, but this is a great time to really change yourself for the better. Improve your diet, improve your health, improve your routine. The ruler of this eclipse is retrograding in your 1st house of self, so it is time to change your looks. Maybe you look to your wardrobe, your makeup. You want to maybe change all of this. You could also be changing, letting go of the way that you think subconsciously. So any negative patterns, this is also a time where you might just give up a bad habit. If you have any addictions, this is the time to release them. If you have any frenemies, any competitors, this is the eclipse where all of that might finally leave leave you. They may finally leave you alone. The sixth house is the house of discord, and with this being a lunar eclipse, it could be that all the discord at work or with some frenemies dissipates after this. And people at work could be changing. Your coworkers around you could be changing. You could even be looking for a new job, getting a new job. Taurus, the lunar eclipse is happening in your fifth house of children, romance, creativity. This is a time where you could let go of hobbies that you are no longer interested in, make room for new things to enter your life. This is also a time for some of you where maybe your children are leaving the nest. They're moving out for the first time, maybe going off to college. You are going to be an empty nester for some of you. Some of you could even end a romantic relationship. Maybe one didn't get off the ground, but this is also a time, some of you, that you are leaving behind your bad thinking patterns and maybe even rethinking and changing some of your friendships. It could be your interests are changing, and therefore a lot of your friendships, the people you hang around, will be changing as well. Look back to 2006, 2007, early 2008. The themes playing back then are coming back yet again. And for you, within the next 2 years, there's changes in love, romance, creativity, and friendships coming to you. And a lot of you could be falling in love, getting pregnant, changes in your children's lives, changes in your friendships, huge changes in these two sectors. Mars in your third house for the rest of the month could bring arguments or disputes with siblings, but you're going to want to get out and enjoy the town more, go out more. With the North Node being in your 11th house, some of your hopes and dreams could be coming true, Taurus. You could start making a lot more money. The 11th house is the love that you receive from other people. So if you are on social media, you're online, you could become more popular within the next 2 years. You could attract a huge following, and you could finally feel like people are gravitating towards you. If you want to start your own business, be online, become more popular, this is the time. This is the time for you, Taurus. Do it. Do it within these next 2 years. You'll thank me later, but this can also be just a good come up in your career that this eclipse cycle will bring your way. Good luck, Taurus. Gemini, this lunar eclipse is taking place in your fourth house. You could be getting rid of a car. Some of you could be making a move within the next 6 months or thinking about a move, or maybe the people that live with you, that is changing. This could be a time where there is new developments in the life of your mother, and this is a good time to also watch your parents' health, or maybe they are moving. It can even be a time where your mother is retiring or rethinking her career, her job, her work life. This is also a time where you are reevaluating your friendships, the groups and clubs that you belong to, and there might be a change in there, as well as you are reevaluating your job. For you, this is huge. There could be a move, there could be a change of job, a relocation, and there could also be changes within the home. Look back to March of 2007, because you had a lunar eclipse then right in your fourth house, and this is happening again. And September 17th, there was a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and it was in your 10th house, exactly at 26 degrees. April 14th, Saturn and the North Node will conjunct that degree, 26 degrees of Pisces in your 10th house. So while things could be unfolding a little bit different right now, the themes are the same from back to 2006, 2007, early 2008. Huge changes in your career and home life coming in the next 2 years, and Uranus is about to go into your sign this summer. So you guys are completely shifting, completely changing around your whole identity. This is a great time, Gemini, to get rid of the clutter in your house and just rejuvenate your house. A big spring clean. Cancer, this lunar eclipse is taking place in your third house of siblings, your neighborhood, your day-to-day life, and this is also your skill sets, and you could be letting go of an outdated skill set. You could actually be letting go of old computers, old cell phones, things that you no longer need or use in your day-to-day life. Your neighborhood could be changing for some of you, and this is a time where there could be new developments in the lives of your siblings, or the relationship you have with your siblings could be going through a big shift, a big change. This lunar eclipse will shed light on where you need to put your effort into. You could completely change your thinking patterns, and you are also rethinking your career and what skills you need to update in order to be better in your career. Some of you could be thinking about travel, going back to school, attaining more skills, getting more credentials for your career. Some of you could be releasing a creative project, maybe that you do online, a blog. Maybe you want to do something completely different. This could also have to do with publishing your work, teaching, or being taught. A lunar eclipse in the third house can also signify a move, because the third house is your community. It is your neighborhood. So somehow, some way, your neighborhood is changing now. You could be just completely shifting your skill sets, and your hobbies and where you like to hang out could be changing as well. From now till the end of the month, you're going to want to be more active, be more seen, be careful of getting injured, and also be careful because you might be a little bit more argumentative from now till the end of the month. Good luck, Cancer. Leo, for you, this lunar eclipse is happening in your second house of income, possession, self-esteem, self-worth, and this can also be a time where you lose a source of income, let go of some possessions, a big move for some of you. The ruler of this eclipse retrograding in your 9th house and your 8th house could mean you are reflecting on your philosophies. You could even be shifting your philosophy on life, what you believe in. This can even be a time where you are reflecting on your relationships, the give and take. Where do you put your energy to? Do you get the same energy back in return? And for some of you, a lunar eclipse in the second house does suggest that there could be a divorce or separation some Leos are going through, with the ruler starting its retrograde in the 9th, which could mean that you are getting rid of a legal binding contract. Some of you could be rethinking a publishing deal, or some kind of course that you are taking. Some travel plans could be up for debate as well. And with that eclipse in your second house, it could also mean dental work, or for some of you, you just need to get rid of some old possessions that you no longer need and do a good deep cleaning. Venus retrograde now, there could be a lot of nostalgia and a lot of rethinking relationships, and for you especially, the give and take of relationships where money and energy is exchanged. You are completely rethinking all of this. And from now on till the end of the month, be careful who you tell anything to. You could have some petty people around you, some gossip. Be careful of theft. You can find yourself being more of a recluse this month, and you could have a very hard time sleeping. It could just be that you are rethinking everything and there's a lot of nostalgia, or there's a lot of anxiety going on within you. It could also be that there's a lot more expenses, or you having to pay out some money. I wish you all the best, Leo. Virgo, this lunar eclipse is right in your sign, and if you are a Virgo rising from 21 to 27 degrees, the late degree Virgo risings, you are in for a big shift and change in your life. The first house is also your body, and with a lunar eclipse here, you want to be cautious and watch your health more. You are completely rethinking who and what you want to be in this world, what you want to mean to people. Eclipses are fated events, and they're always responsible for huge things happening in our lives. Marriage, divorce, moving, having kids. A complete life shift is in store for you, Virgos. Look back from fall of 2005 all the way until the spring of 2008. What was going on in your life? The themes playing out now for you could resemble the themes from back then, but particularly look for March of 2007, because we are right back here again to the same spot, having a lunar eclipse. The ruler of the eclipse is Mercury, your ruling planet. It's retrograde, and it is starting its retrograde in its 8th house. You could be transforming your looks, your clothing. With this eclipse, or even in the next 2 years, some of you might even undergo plastic surgery or completely change the way you present yourself to the world, and your whole complete image will change. That's because the ruler of this eclipse is taking you to the underworld, to the 8th house, for a complete shift, a complete transformation. over the next 2 years, you are going to see yourself completely change, your relationships change. This eclipse can bring up a lot of emotions. You could be working through a lot of emotional history with this eclipse ruler going into the 8th house, and the 8th house is the give and take, the energy shared between two people. I found a perfect picture to describe what's going on here for you. It's relationships are changing. The give and take of relationships. Do you get the same in return? It's opposing your 7th house. So it could be love, but it could be business partners. It could be clients. The energy that you put out, do you get the same back in return? And if the answer is no, and you've been trying the same thing over and over, maybe it's time to give this up and try something new. There is a better path unfolding for you right now. The shift and focus is towards relationships. That is where the North Node is. With Mercury going retrograde, Venus retrograde, there could be a lot of upsets in relationships, nostalgia, and there could even be people trying to come back from the past for you, especially towards the end of the month and into April. The ruler of your 12th house is going to meet with Saturn in the 7th house, which also shows people coming back from the past. Saturn is opposing this lunar eclipse, but it is coming together with the sun, so it will be combust. You guys could have a really hard time letting go, and for some of you, it could be letting go of an old relationship. Saturn is soon to leave your 7th house, and with the North Node there, a lot of you will be meeting somebody new, falling in love, getting married. Some of you could be meeting somebody completely different, somebody foreign even. Those of you who are married and in a good relationship, this could be a time where there's new developments in the life of your spouse or partner. And this eclipse is in effect for at least 6 months, sometimes up to a year. So get ready for some chance meetings where you feel like you're meeting your soulmate. Not just soulmate, but the 7th house is the public. So think clients, business partners. You're becoming more sought after, more popular. And with this comes the self-identity crisis. So everything around you is starting to change. You could even change your home life, how you deal with your family. Your career could be changing. And if not now, soon with Uranus going into your 10th house. And with Mars in the 11th, there could be some upsets with friends or some tension going on with your friends, or they could at least irritate you for the rest of the month. And I want to bring your attention to April because we had a lunar eclipse on September 17th at 26 degrees of Pisces, your 7th house. April 14th, Saturn is conjuncting with the North Node at exactly 26 degrees of Pisces, bringing up stuff and activating that eclipse. So think relationships again. What was happening around that time in your relationship sector? Because that day could bring a lot of relationship changes or things back from the past. And right before this day, Venus will go direct. So there could be a lot more new developments happening in April with your relationships, Virgo. So it's a huge month for you, Virgo, and I know you guys are starting to feel it. Internal and external changes happening around you. Good luck with everything. Libra, this lunar eclipse is taking place in your 12th house, your subconscious mind, your mental health. This is a perfect time for you to release and let go of negative thinking patterns. This is also a time to let go of any and all bad habits so you could get your health on track. This eclipse can bring in a lot of anxiety and you might have a hard time falling asleep. You might be rethinking everything, playing everything out in your head. Remember, the ruler of this eclipse is retrograde and so is Venus. So you're rethinking your love life, your relationships, your health, everything. There could be a lot of subconscious fears that you are dealing with. For some of you, this could even be some bills and debt that you are now paying off and trying to get your life on track, and health is a big theme of this eclipse. The ruler of this eclipse is going to your 7th house, and that means there could be relationships from the past that come back, or you could be rethinking your relationships, all of your relationships, and even your previous relationships. The ruler of this eclipse later goes into your 6th house. There could even be a romance at work. There could also be a secret romance that is starting behind the scenes. Be careful of petty people, jealous people. With an eclipse in the 12th house, some secrets may come out, and you may see that some people that you are around don't have your best interest at heart. So do be cautious of this. But this eclipse is asking you to release any and all bad habits and take care of yourself, take care of your health. Saturn opposing this eclipse from your 6th house. There could also be issues that come up at work or the people that you work with. Those of you who own a business, maybe there's stuff going on with your employees. You guys could even be thinking about going to work somewhere else. With Mars in your 10th house, you could be very driven in your career goals, but there could also be fights with your bosses, people of authority. So just be cautious and mindful of this. Good luck, Libra. Scorpio, this lunar eclipse is taking place in your 11th house. Groups, friendships, the organizations, clubs that you belong to. This is also the house of your hopes and dreams, your popularity, your following. And this is a lunar eclipse, so some of you maybe have outgrown some of your friendships, or you're going to decide that some friends are just not worth keeping, or that your interests lie in different places. This is really over the course of the next few months. The areas affected by these eclipses are your 11th house of groups, friendships, and your 5th house of romance, creativity, and children. So these two areas are going to be drastically changing for you. Look back to 2006, 2007, early 2008. The themes playing out now were the themes that were playing out then. Of course, the situations might be a little bit different, but you'll notice the themes are the same. Look back to March, April of 2007. This is the same area of life where you are having a lunar eclipse now. A lot of times when we have an eclipse in the 11th house, we not just let go of friends, we start hanging out with different people, or our interests completely change. Sometimes it's that we just grow apart from our friends. Maybe one of our friends moves, maybe they get married, have a baby, or we get married, we have a baby. So the dynamic in a friendship can change. The 11th house is the love that we receive from other people, and this can be a time where you have an aha moment, a realization that you are just not receiving the kind of love that you are giving to the people you are around. The people that you pour your heart into, the people that you pour your time into, they're just not giving you the same in return. And Saturn is opposing this eclipse, so this can be a tough pill to swallow. Like, it's hard for some people to let go of certain people, certain friendships. We've been friends for so long, and now maybe you find something out. Neptune is also aspecting this eclipse, so there could be some lies exposed. The ruler of this eclipse is Mercury, and it's going retrograde all the way until April 7th, and it's starting its retrograde in your 6th house, and this is the house of work, health, and discord. And this could mean that maybe your health is affected by the situations within your friendship circle, or it could even be that a friend from work, a friend that you do things with on a daily basis, is really maybe affecting your health or the whole situation. The dynamic within your friendship is just not healthy for some of you. Now, it's also going into your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, and this is the time where you might hear back from an ex. Venus is retrograding, so it's a time we are nostalgic. We can hear back from an ex-partner. We can contact an ex-partner. You could even be falling in love, some of you, and some of you could even be falling pregnant within the next 2 years, and completely shifting your friendship circle around, or who you spend your time around, because you're going to be maybe a new parent. Those of you who are older, it could also mean that your children are having children, and now you're going to be more active as being a grandparent. Those of you who are not into that at all, this could be a time where you find new friends. This can be a time where you find a lot of new hobbies, new interests, and because of that, your friendship circle will change. This eclipse is going to start a lot of changes within your friendship circle. And Mars, your ruler, is in the 9th house for the rest of the month. So if you are traveling, be careful. There might be some hiccups. There could also be some anger or resentment, maybe coming from teachers, judges, or just annoyances with legal paperwork, legal contracts, anything like that. I hope you found this helpful, Scorpio. Sagittarius, this lunar eclipse is happening in your 10th house of career and public image. You're standing to the outside world. Saturn and Sun opposing this eclipse from your 4th house shows me that maybe you have a hard time letting go of a certain career, a certain position in life. There could be some obstacles in a career or some financial obstacles for some of you, and this could also be just obstacles coming from authority figures, bosses. Maybe obstacles and restrictions coming from home, family obligations for some of you. And with Saturn transiting the 4th house, there could be a lot of new changes in the home, or you feel like you're restricted within the home, or maybe you want to move but you feel like you can't. There could be a lot of changes in the life of your parents, especially your mother. Maybe their health is taking a turn, or there's issues going on with their health or their living situation right now. This could also be you considering buying a new vehicle, or you feel like you have to buy a new vehicle. This eclipse is highlighting career, work changes, changes in position. Look back to 2006, 2007, 2008. The eclipses that were happening then are in the exact same positions as they are now. So you could see the same themes playing out. Of course, situations could be different, but you can see this highlighted your home, family, and your career and public image life. Did you start a new job? Did you move? Did you buy a new vehicle? And right now we're coming full circle. Some of you could actually be retiring, changing your career completely, moving house, buying a new vehicle, welcoming a new member into the family, getting a pet. And the North Node is in your 4th house, and that is where the energy is shifting. That is where the new experiences will be coming from. Family, home, vehicles, new emotional security, and you are releasing something when it comes to your career, your public image, the way you identify with your job. In the fall of 2024, there was a lunar eclipse on September 17th at 26 degrees of Pisces. This is your 4th house of home and family. April 14th, Saturn will conjunct the North Node at 26 degrees of Pisces, and there could be a lot of new developments unfolding in April when it comes to home, family, vehicles, your mother, your parents, your career, your standing in the world. And even this lunar eclipse, the effects could last for up to 6 months, so you're going to see a lot of changes in career and home life unfolding over the next year and a half, 2 years, Sagittarius. The ruler of this eclipse is Mercury. Mercury rules contracts of all kinds, skills, and it is retrograding during this eclipse, and it's starting its retrograde in your 5th house. So your children, creative projects, investments could be involved in this. At the end of March and in April, it will be in your 4th house of home and families. There is a lot of revising and decisions to make about children, creativity, investments, home, family, mother, vehicles, and a lot could be up in the air for a lot of you. Mercury also rules your 7th house of partners, and it is retrograde, so you might also be rethinking business partners, clients, contracts, and there could be relationship issues that come up for review. And with Venus retrograde, a lot of that could be happening. Maybe exes coming back from the past, but this can also be maybe you and a partner separating and working things out where children are concerned or where you're going to live. This month and next, Venus will be retrograde also, so you could be rethinking your looks, your fashion, your aesthetic sense, as well as your money, your relationships. Damn, Sagittarius, I am glad that you guys are always so optimistic and ready for adventure, because you are about to be on a big adventure. From about now till April, Mars in your 8th house also tells me that there's a lot of aggravation when it comes to shared resources, taxes, insurance policies, and all of this could be changing, and this could be because of a partner, a partnership, investments, children. You guys could be waiting on some money from a financial institution. And something in that area could just be pissing you off, or you feel like you're waiting forever for some money, especially when it comes to other people's money, money from institutions, from loans. So that's the overview for the month and this eclipse. If you have personal planets from 21 to 27 degrees in Virgo or Pisces, so in your 4th and 10th house, this eclipse will affect you more. And I talk about it in the beginning of the video, and I also have a video on the eclipses to personal planets, so you can watch that. But right now, this is really talking about letting go and releasing a career, a job, you identifying with a certain position, and maybe going off on your own. A lot of huge changes coming up. I hope that you found this helpful, Sagittarius. Capricorn, this lunar eclipse is taking place in your 9th house. This is the house of spirituality, education, publishing, travel, passports, teachers, teaching, your philosophical and moral viewpoint, and the house of luck. A lot of you guys can now be completely shifting and changing your political views, your religious views, and your moral standpoint on a lot of topics that maybe you were really close to before, or maybe you're finishing up school or changing your degree in some way, getting new credentials. I want you guys to look back to 2006, 2007, 2008. What was happening in your life back then? Because the themes playing out are the same. Especially look to March 3rd, spring of 2007. What were you going through? Were you finishing up school? Were you signing up for school? Was there travels? Were you completely shifting around your thinking process, how you think on certain subject matters, maybe teaching, publishing? You may not notice it right away, but over the course of the next year and a half, 2 years, you're going to see a big shift in your thinking process, how you think, who you interact with, and maybe even your hobbies change. This is opposing the third house where Saturn and Sun are meeting up, so maybe you have a hard time letting go of certain belief systems, but this change is needed. It's necessary for your growth, so you can even completely shift where you hang out, where you put your effort into, what schooling you want to do. Some of you could go back to school. Maybe you need new credentials for your career, or maybe completely different subject matters are interesting you right now. The ninth house is also the law and all legal documents. So maybe some of you are going through a court case, a legal battle even. For some of you, maybe you are taking care of legal documents for your mother, father, your parents, your sibling, or maybe on account of a house. The ruler of this eclipse is Mercury, which is going retrograde, and Mercury does rule contracts, diplomas, skills. It's starting its retrograde in your fourth house. This could actually mean a move for a lot of you. This could also mean that there's new developments in your home and family life, or even your vehicle, having to get your vehicle fixed. And later it goes into your third house where skills, effort, and siblings are affected. There could be new developments in the lives of your siblings as these eclipses are going on. In your skill sets, what you want to learn. And this is where the North Node is. So maybe you guys want to get a new computer, a new piano, a new guitar, start a blog, start a YouTube channel. You are really ready to showcase your skills to the world. The third house is also the house of gossip, friends, wanting to hang out with people, wanting to join groups, friendships, and maybe even finding new places to hang out in your community, because the third house is also your community. So your community could be changing. Maybe there's new and interesting people are moving into your community and you're going to get to know them. Traveling and small trips could really open up your horizons, and they could really initiate a lot of these changes. Over the next year and a half, the big focus is on skills, community, siblings, travel, expanding your mind, and leaving behind thought patterns that no longer serve you. This lunar eclipse can bring up questions of your faith, but this is really about letting go and having faith. Some people completely change around their belief systems with eclipses in the ninth house. Like they believe in astrology, all of a sudden they don't believe in astrology. Maybe they had beliefs with a certain religion and now they want to open up to spiritual studies. But this sector is also asking you to have faith in a higher power, higher than you, higher than just teachings and religion. A lot is going on right now, and with Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, a lot of people from the past may show up. You may even catch up with friends from the past. Maybe some of you can even be reconnecting with exes from the past, and it could even be online on social media, or they could be checking out your social media. You could be checking out their social media. From now until April, you have Mars in the seventh house, and this can cause some rifts or maybe arguments with spouse or partner, clients, business partners as well. So if you are having a lot of trouble in that department, it's good to get more active together, start doing more activities together. And since Pluto left your sign, things should start getting much better. Pluto is now in your second house, so you are really thinking about making a lot of money, going out there and proving yourself to the world. And what better way to do that than update your skills? And this is what this transit is about. These eclipses for the next year and a half are here to show you your new skills, what you can do. And you guys can pretty much do anything, Capricorn. You're the goat. And now it's really time to go showcase the world your goat skills. I hope you found this helpful. Aquarius, this lunar eclipse is happening in your 8th house of shared finances. This is also the house of intimacy, psychology, astrology, tarot, so the mystical subjects and the exchange of energy. Of course, this is also the house of major transformation, and this is where the lunar eclipse is. So think major transformation in these areas. 8th house is also the stored energy that we inherit from our family, from our lineage. And a lot of you could be doing a lot of healing and completely letting go of all that, letting go of a lot of baggage, trauma. But on a mundane level, this can mean that your spouse or partner loses a source of income or their income changes. This could also be that some of you are separating, getting a divorce. So therefore your financial situation is changing, and maybe there is alimony, child support, support, things like that that are going on for some of you. This can also be a time where maybe some of you are paying off debt. You finally pay off your debt. 8th house is loans as well, and this is a releasing of that, so some of you can be doing that. The ruler of this eclipse is retrograde, starting its retrograde cycle in the 3rd house of siblings. For some of you, this can actually be a time where a partnership with a sibling where money is concerned is coming to an end, or it is changing in some way. It later goes into the 2nd house where finances are concerned. So there could be some break, some changes in a financial sector for you. This could affect your self-worth, your self-esteem, and the exchange of energy is really what the 8th house is about. So you are questioning everything like, is this worth it? Is this not worth it? That is what exchange of energy is. The planet ruling this eclipse is Mercury. So think contracts, skills, associates, siblings. There could have been jobs you have been delegating to family that you are now rethinking. And everything works in patterns, so look to 2006, 2007, early 2008. Was there something started there within a business, with a sibling, with a family member you are now reconsidering? Saturn is opposing this eclipse from your 2nd house, so this could be something where you have a hard choice to make. Neptune is also opposing this eclipse, so it could be that you find things out and you are waking up to reality. Maybe things were not as they seem, especially when it comes to money, contracts, family, and sharing resources. Look back to March 3rd. Of 2007, was there something happening with family, money, contracts, finances, marriage, separation for a lot of you? The themes could be coming up yet again. That's why for a lot of you, it could be marriage, divorce, separation, breakups, because nothing changes finances faster than something like this. We also have Venus retrograde, which will bring nostalgia, relationship issues to the forefront of all kinds. And for that pattern, you want to look back to 2017, even 2009. What was happening in your love life? Especially look to the spring of 2017. Was your love life changing? Did you meet somebody new? For you, it's the 3rd and 2nd house. So it could have been you went on a trip, you fell in love. Maybe you made a decision to leave a partner or start a new relationship, and now you are questioning that. The next 2 months can also bring communication with ex-partners, especially online, or maybe you just looking them up, them looking you up. This also could have been a new skill that you were learning to perfect your craft, and now you are reconsidering all of this. But for you, it really does deal with contracts. From now until the middle of April, Mars will be in your 6th house. So there could be some employees, people that work for you, if you have a business, that are not right for you. They could be pissing you off, and you might need to even get rid of some employees. For those of you who have a job, it could just be that your coworkers are pissing you off or irritating you in some way, or maybe there is some conflict at work with employees within a business partnership. Saturn in your 2nd house is making you question your looks, your self-worth, your money, your job, maybe even restricting your finances. Opponents, business partners, clients, and of course, your spouse or partner. These eclipses are here to shake up your financial sector. And with the North Node now in your 2nd house, it is a new source of income, a new job, more money, and shared finances. These things are all coming up for a big shift, a big change. That is what the eclipses do. And if you have personal planets in the 2nd house and the 8th house, you're going to feel this a lot more. So not all of you are going to feel this in the same way, but really it's a shakeup in your self-worth, your self-esteem, the exchange of energy and money. I hope this was helpful, Aquarius. Pisces, this lunar eclipse that is happening now is happening in your 7th house. This is your house of partnerships, marriage partners, spouse, your long-term partners, as well as clients, business partners, all the people that you relate to on a day-to-day basis. So it is really your other half, and this could be a time where you are letting go of a relationship. When eclipses happen in the 1st and 7th house, think relationship, marriage, having a baby, buying a home, starting a business, getting a new business partner. All these major life events are unfolding right now for you. Go back to 2006, 2007, and early 2008. What was unfolding in your life? Because you are the star of the show right now with the North Node in your 1st house, and you were back then as well. You could have completely changed your look, who you hang out with, who you are with, who your partner is, marriage, divorce, all of that stuff back then, and this is happening yet again. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to separate or anything. It could actually mean that those of you who are married, this could just mean that your partner needs a lot more of your attention, and new developments are unfolding in their lives. If your rising sign is between 21 and 27 degrees of Pisces, or you have personal planets in Virgo and Pisces from 21 to 27 degrees, your whole life is about to change. A lot of new things will be unfolding in your life right now. For you guys specifically, changes in your relationships are very likely. Over the course of the next few months, your relationships could be changing, and this could even be business partners, clients. You could meet somebody that you have a past life soul connection to, where you just feel like you are really connected to them. A person from the past can even come back into your life and you can rekindle that romance. Some of you could be letting go of relationships, going through a divorce, a separation. Some of you, it's because it's something you want, you need. And some of you, it could feel like the rug was pulled from underneath you and you didn't see it coming. The ruler of this eclipse is Mercury, which is going retrograde. So there's a lot of rethinking, reanalyzing, and Mercury rules contracts, it rules skills, it rules business partners. So for a lot of you, it's a breaking of a contract because this is starting in your second house of finances. It could be a breaking of a marriage contract, a business partnership, clients that you've had for a while that are now leaving you. At the end of March 28th, all the way until April, it's going to be in your first house. So this is a time where you could hear back from exes, people from the past could come back into your life, and you are reanalyzing your look and all your relationships. In April, you're going to see a whole new life unfolding for you. Some of you may feel restriction or like it's hard to let go because of that Saturn. We had an eclipse September 17th, a lunar eclipse, 26 degrees of Pisces. April 14th, Saturn will conjunct the North Node at 26 degrees of Pisces, and this will trigger that eclipse. For a lot of you, this is when the changes will start to occur. So much is changing for you, Pisces. Look back to March 3rd, 2007. You had a lunar eclipse in your 7th house then, and you're having a lunar eclipse in your 7th house now. Venus is also retrograde, and this is bringing nostalgia and relationship issues to the forefront to be dealt with, reanalyzed. It's starting in your second house. You're rethinking your finances, your possessions, your self-worth. At the end of the month and in April, it will be in your first house. You are rethinking your look, your fashion sense, your aesthetic, your hairstyle, and you want to change all of this up. This can also be a time where romance finds you, or romance from the past. You want to change everything up about yourself and how you relate to the world. Pisces, these are huge life shifts you are about to undertake, and those of you who are late degree Pisces rising, you are undertaking these shifts and changes right now. And with this eclipse, Saturn is opposing it. So for some of you, you could find it hard to let go or feel like you are restricted from leaving a certain relationship. You don't really know what to do yet, or there's just a lot of barriers in your way. Others of you could be waking up to harsh truths. Neptune is also aspecting this lunar eclipse, so a lot of lies and deceit, cheating, dishonesty could come out, and you will be forced to look at the reality of your relationships. Lots of exciting changes. Mars will be transiting your 5th house from now until the middle of March. You could be having a lot of fun, a new romance, or some new hobby that is taking up a lot of your time. But of course, if you have children, they could be acting up or maybe even bickering, fighting with you. You are reanalyzing your finances, your relationship, and there's so many new developments unfolding for you. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe for more.